Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover a Kabaya kit. While I'm talking Kabaya kits, I am talking Star Saber. Here is Star Saber in his awesome jet mode. And if you notice, he's a pretty big jet mode, really. It's got a lot of wide portions here, but this is actually for a gimmick that I don't currently have. The Victory Leo that actually would plug into him. If you guys aren't really familiar with Star Saber, you should check it out as part of the Victory series, and it's just amazing. I love Star Saber and I love the Victory Leo. Hopefully one day I can get hold of one to be able to plug into this, but you know, that's neither here or there. Looking at Star Saber here, very neat. It's got a lot of detail. And these are kits that you actually have to build. But it's very cool. He actually has a lot of sticker detail, which is nice. This is all sticker detail. This is too. So it's the same thing with his cockpit. But he doesn't have too many stickers. There isn't a whole bunch. Star Convoy's got a lot. This one does not actually have as many, which is cool. I do like that about him. He does retain some of the gimmicks that the original toy did have. The fact that you can store the blade here on the back, and the head just kind of sits up in there. You can take this here off to create the small shuttle, which is like the small plane. It doesn't have any flip out gimmicks or anything like that to make it longer, but he does have the windows and all that kind of craziness that he originally had. If you look underneath, it's got a lot of the cool little detail there. So if you're really into this guy, it's pretty neat. He is a bit of a parts former, so you have to kind of forgive it for what it does. But let's go ahead and take this portion here off, because it's a fairly long piece here that actually plugs in, and you can plug this in upside down if you wanted to make the shuttle like this if you wanted, which is fine. Either way you want to do it. It's kind of up to you. He does happen to have a couple more little tiny decals right there, which would be originally like a gold paint. But anyway, I'm going to leave these two separated. And then we're going to look at the way this here transforms, because he's pretty cool. I tried to figure out the base mode for this guy, because I actually have fudged base modes in the past with this. And I used to have the original Star Saber. I loved that toy. It was amazing. Like I said, sadly, some of the stuff I've had to let go throughout the years. But he kind of can't do what I want him to do for the base mode. He does, like I said, have a bit of parts forming here you have to do. So sadly, these don't slide up and down like the original would actually have a chasm big enough here for you to actually slide this in and out, and would actually cover the fists, which you really can't do on this kit, which is fine. I don't fault it for that, because I mean it's a little candy kit from back then. And you'll take his little feet and you'll rotate them out. So the fact is, there's not a whole lot of parts forming you have to do. And then take this off, and take this back there, and then I'll raise up the camera because it's getting a bit tall. Then I'm going to take the chest piece here, and this will actually just plug right back in, which is kind of clever because you can't really see the two holes, but there's two tiny little holes on the inside of this, and they actually just peg right over this little plastic piece here. And then you just take his little head here, which will unpeg from this little post here. Now, I know some people are like, well, that doesn't like the original post. It isn't. The original post is white. I had to make a new one because this was actually missing that. And then you just take the little head and then plug it onto the body. Oops. And sometimes it doesn't. There we go. And then you can take the nose cone. And the nose cone's got this little slot piece here. And you can just put this there in his hand. And then take this off. And it's got that slot. And then plug it in right there. And there you go. You got Star Saber in his robot mode. He looks really cool though. I do like him a lot. I've always loved Star Saber. He was always one of my favorite. I really have been into like the more of the Japanese stuff that they had, like Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory. Those were always my favorite. Same thing with Transformers Zone. Those were my favorite versions of Transformers, and then obviously G2 is my top favorite, always have been. He does happen to have decals here also on the underside of the wings, so he does have decals on both sides, which is kind of nice. So when these are folded up, it's not just a sea of blue. He does have a few decals here that kind of show up here on robot mode. Same thing with the Autobot symbols here. And the original ones, these here would flip open, and that's where his landing gear was. And then these, when you fold these around, the landing gear would actually be exposed on the back side of the wheels. And the chest master thing was completely different. He had a little brain master dude you would put inside the chest, and then you would flip. When you put the guy in the chest and fold it up, it would actually cause the head to pop up into this. And then you'd have your larger helmet that would come over it, so that way it kind of gave him the super mode Star Saber face. Speaking of faces, he's got a really cool one. I do like it. This white piece here is actually a separate piece, so it's kind of nice that that's actually separate. He does have some articulation here in the head. His antennas do move, so you can use his antennas as guns if you wanted to. Does have like a 360-degree thing here with these, and then he does have elbow joints, which is nice. And then they like to fall off because, you know, it's a Kabaya kit. These aren't meant to be glued together. You can take a little bit of, I would say floor polish or nail polish and put it in the joints if you needed to tighten them, but he's already tight enough. He does have like the A stance, but then it tries to pop apart if you go too far with it. That is the one thing about Kabaya kits. You've got to be very patient when you're playing with them, because they do like to pop apart sometimes. Now that piece there, I can probably put a bit of glue on the inside and that would never happen again, because there's no real reason for that to ever come back apart. But for the most part, most of the pieces on these guys are designed to stay. If I'm not mistaken, I think this guy also came with his blaster gun, but I didn't have it, so it's not a big deal. Here's a size comparison with him and Star Convoy. I think these two look really good together. And putting him next to one of the reflector bots, he is a little taller than a reflector bot. Same thing with Optimus there. They're a little taller, which is cool. These guys will actually fit in with your core legend scale stuff, so if you're really into the core legend scale, chase these down. They're really, really nice. I do like them a lot. They're very cool. And the fact that, you know, they're fully transforming toys, they're fully contained within themselves. You don't have to worry about a bunch of crazy parts and stuff like that. And like I said, the only issue I usually have sometimes is this waist portion here trying to pop off. But usually if I push in hard enough, I can give him his widest A stance, which is weird. I do know Victory Leo will actually plug into this if you get the proper one. There are a couple other versions of Star Saber and Victory Leo out there. Some of them are the more vintage ones, are a completely different transformation than this one. It actually has a transforming jet that plugs in. It's a little more involved. These are the easier ones to try to get a hold of because they were the more recent ones, but they're still really, really cool. And I just still love the fact that I can still put the sword here in the back if I didn't want him to handle the sword. I can actually just stow the entire sword here on his back, and there you go. It's out of the way. That's cool. I do like that. I'm a huge fan of Star Saber. Love him. He's amazing. But he doesn't really have a base mode. The way I used to do the base mode is I would flip these legs all the way out, and he would just sit, and then I would primarily, I mean, you can't really turn the head around on the original one. I would probably just turn the head around on this one here and then just put his arms up in the air. It's kind of what I used to do for a base mode for him, because I was always trying to fudge base modes out of things, which I think is cool. Some people might think that's crazy. I don't know. I like my Micromasters. I like my smaller robots, so I like a larger robot to have a function like that. The fact that he's teeny tiny, I don't even necessarily have to acknowledge his base mode. He's got a great truck mode and a great robot mode. Same thing with this guy. He's got the great jet mode and great robot mode, and that's all I really like about it. That's the biggest reason why I love these guys, because they're small and they're tiny and they're cool. But anyway, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Transformer Kabaya review, and I'll see you guys around as I play more coming your way. That's it for now. Bye!